The Cambridge Alva ST is the perfect turntable, the best turntable for most people. Today you're going to get to know the Cambridge Alva ST a little bit better, and I'm going to rank it in different categories, and then we'll come up with a total score. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk about the Cambridge Audio Alva ST turntable, the best turntable for most people. Huge thank you to today's sponsor, MyHeritage. I've always been super curious about these DNA tests. They are committed to a privacy policy that will never sell or license genetic data. When you take the test and you get the results, you get your ethnicity estimate across 42 supported ethnicities and 2,114 geographic regions. That's a lot more than any other test does. And you'll even find new relatives that you didn't even know existed. Actually, taking the test is super easy. You just take a swab, you swab it on one cheek for about 20 or 30 seconds, break it off, put it in a little vial, do the same thing on the other side, break it off, put it in the vial, stick it in the envelope, and send it off. All right, the results are in. Let's check it out. I am 78.2% English, 11.4% North and West European, 10.4% Eastern European. Man, it even shows where everybody came and immigrated to the US. Cool. DNA matches. Don't worry, I'm gonna not show their names, but I do recognize that name. I actually have met this one. MyHeritage has a promotion going on right now. You can use the QR code right here. Click on the link in the description and the pinned comment and use the coupon code for free shipping. This is so cool. You have got to check this out. This is a belt-driven turntable with push-button speed control. Has a phono preamp pre-installed, also has Bluetooth pre-installed, and comes in at $599. Build quality, really good. The plinth, super heavy duty. Made mostly of plastic, but doesn't feel cheap in plastic. The push buttons to change speed control are also very nice. The way that you connect the belt is also very convenient. So when you change speeds, you don't need to actually change the position of the belt on the pulley. You just press a button. Tone arm, very good. Counterweight, very good. Tone arm lifter, also very good. This whole table screams premium, and in my opinion, feels a little bit better, or a lot better, than similarly priced Audio Technica turntables, which I was actually really disappointed in a bunch of these Audio Technica turntables that I tried out. It has a different vibe, a different look, a different aesthetics than something like a U-turn, which is a little bit sleeker. However, Cambridge Audio is heavier. And you want to know something that's very premium on this turntable? The RCAs. It's amazing to me that I will get a $1,000 turntable and the interconnects feel like 25-cent interconnects. These are beefy, very nice. It seems it's kind of a weird thing to get excited about on a turntable. However, it speaks to the level of refinement and how detail-oriented they were with this turntable. Build quality, I'm gonna give a 9 out of 10. The only thing that I think keeps it from having a 10 out of 10 is the dust cover hinges. A little bit plasticky, but to be fair, most turntables at this price are plasticky. Fluence does have, it's made out of plastic, but it actually has a spring mechanism, which is a little bit beefier than the Cambridge. with a pre-installed phono preamp. With Bluetooth, this turntable has the features that most people are going to want. Is this a turntable for hardcore vinyl enthusiasts? Probably not. This is going to be a turntable for most people looking for a one and done turntable solution. Something that they can do everything with. And something that's built in a way that they don't feel like they're chinsing out. $600, I believe, is a good price. Comes in at $100 more than the RT85 from Fluence, which is a fantastic turntable. But it doesn't have an internal phono preamp and it doesn't have Bluetooth. RT85 also comes with some better cartridge options. This comes with, to my knowledge, the Audio-Technica ATVM95 or 95E, which is a fairly inexpensive cartridge. I was a little bit concerned about that when I first got it in because you have companies like Fluence who are putting Ortofon 2M Blues on their turntables, which is a $200 phono cartridge. A $70 phono cart on a $600 turntable raised a bit of a flag with me until I actually started using the turntable. The reason that I say this is because I have the limited edition Project Metallica turntable. That is a $1,500 turntable, and it has a $100 cartridge on it. So I was disappointed, concerned, almost even angry about the phono cartridge choice on the Project Limited Edition Metallica turntable, till I kind of thought about it. I was really paying for the design of the turntable. I can always change out the cartridge later on the Metallica turntable because it has a removable head shell, so it makes changing cartridges a snap. Guess what the Cambridge Audio has? It has a removable head shell, which makes changing cartridges a snap. The 95 from Audio-Technica is widely used amongst a ton of different turntables and is also well respected. It is a good performer. Is it as good as a 2M Blue? In my opinion, no, but it's good enough. If this table didn't have Bluetooth or a pre-installed phono preamp, I might complain about the choice of the cartridge on it as them kind of cheaping out. But since this is kind of an all-in-one, does everything well type of a turntable, I give them a pass. And if you ever want to upgrade the cartridge, again, super easy. The one thing I wish this table did have, though, is adjustable feet. There are no feet. It just sits on the top of your rack or whatever else you put it on with two long strips which are covered in rubber. If there is a level issue, you're going to have to figure out a way to level this table without using adjustable feet because it just doesn't exist. And again, I wish it did have adjustable feet, but I don't think the hardcore vinyl, I don't think this is a table for the hardcore vinyl enthusiast. I think this is a table for most people that want to listen to records very quickly. I alluded to it before, but the VM95E from Audio-Technica is a great low-cost, budget, high-performing cartridge. This table sounds good. It's dynamic. I don't think it has the detail retrieval of an Ortofon 2M Blue. However, I also think it sounds better than an Ortofon 2M Red. 2M Red to me is too shouty in the mid-range. For me, the Audio-Technica 95 is similar to a Ortofon OM10 or OM5E, but a little bit more dynamic. So I think this is a great choice, and I think it's better than some Ortofon offerings at the same price. The internal phono preamp is good enough, and that's going to be kind of a reoccurring theme on this video. This is a good table. However, when I compared the internal phono preamp to my favorite $500, which I know this is crazy, right? I'm comparing a $500 phono preamp to a $600 turntable. It was way more dynamic. The 2-box SE from Project. But here's my point, is if you do want to add an external phono preamp and get the sound to be better, then you certainly can. I was listening to AC/DC for Those About to Rock, which incidentally, in my opinion, is one of the most well-recorded records I've ever heard. It is tense. Wasn't as dynamic using the internal phono preamp. Was a little bit flat in the mid-range. Was less resolving than the two-box S2. It just wasn't as good, and it shouldn't be as good. This costs about as much as my turntable does. But to me, this table sounds a lot better with its internal phono preamp than something like a Fluence RT80 or 81. Again, it should. More expensive. Taking into consideration the cartridge and the internal phono preamp compared to something like the Fluence RT85 with an external preamp costing about $100, so the tables are coming in at a similar price point. The RT85 sounds better, but I think that's a function of the cartridge. So for sound quality, I give the Cambridge Audio Alva ST an 8 out of 10. Overall, I'm giving this turntable an 8 out of 10. The only thing that's holding it back, I think, is a better phono cartridge. You have all of the functionality that you want. The theme is this is a great turntable for most people in most situations. This would be a great one and done turntable. If you're a total vinyl enthusiast, though, you're going to want something. You're going to want features like adjustable feet. And you may want some convenience features like auto stop, like Fluence has. But since it does have a removable head shell, it is very versatile. So if you want a one and done turntable and then you want to add another cartridge, it's super easy to do. I'm very impressed with the build quality. When I compare it to Project turntables coming in at the same price, it's better. I do wish there was an option for an acrylic platter or a glass platter that you could upgrade to later. An aluminum platter is fine. People use it all of the time, but at this price point, you're getting an acrylic or a glass platter with tables from Fluence and from U-Turn, and I think even Project. So I think compromises had to be made. Setup was also fairly straightforward, and it came with this very cool balancer to make sure that you got the tracking force just right. And I've set up a lot of turntables, and that's the first time I've ever seen something like that, so it's pretty cool. Solid turntable at a solid price. I think if you want something with a better cartridge, you should probably look at Fluence RT85 or the 85N, which is the Nagaoka cartridge. Most people are going to like this table better than U-Turns if they do want to switch out cartridges, because U-Turns don't have a removable head shell. The push button speed control is also awesome. How it looks is fundamentally up to you. If you like the way this one looks versus how a U-Turn looks versus how a Fluence looks versus how a Project looks. Depends on you. Checks all the boxes, but I don't think anybody purchasing this table is going to regret it. Make sure to check out MyHeritage. You can use the code AudioMan or click on the QR code right now. It's super fun. I had a ton of fun learning more about MyHeritage through MyHeritage. Check the link in the description and the pinned comment.